Hello, thank you for joining me on the mat today. Welcome or welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today we have a really nice, gentle release. So this is a stretch practice where we focus on opening up through the shoulders and the upper back. So if you have some sore muscles or you feel tight and you want some tension release, this is perfect for you. This is also a nice warm-up if you are practicing inversions or arm balances in your practice. You need to really make sure that you have the chest, the shoulders, and the upper back warmed up and open, ready to go to prevent injury for those. So this practice can be used in preparation for that as well. Whenever you are ready, you don't need any props for this class, and we will begin in a nice, easy seat. Finding your easy seat and beginning to settle in as we find breath awareness, translating breath awareness into body awareness as we locate any areas of tightness, breathing nice and full into the belly, in through the nose, and out through the nose, drawing the navel into the spine, expelling out all of the air. Taking a few breaths on your own, at your own natural pace, just to come into this moment. Finding presence, noticing how you feel today. What's going on in that head of yours? Nice and easy. Find one more breath. And then we can blink the eyes open if you found them closed. We're going to take one big inhale to reach up, already feeling the shoulders, but keeping them to press down, just reaching the fingertips up, finding length, palms meet, and exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Taking a nice big side stretch, releasing the right hand to the mat as the left arm sweeps overhead, keeping this nice front-facing position here. So we really just reach the arm over, feeling an extension from the fingertips all the way down the sides of the arm, through the rib cage, pulling at the lower back, the sides of the hips. Keeping your sit bones rooted down as you extend. You can maybe come down onto the right elbow, if that's accessible for you, but making sure that the sit bones do not lift up. Find another 2 breaths, trying to find some ease. Before using your next exhale to press back up, reset through a nice neutral spine before reaching the right hand overhead. Take your time to get here, moving slowly, especially if we are sore and tight, if that's the reason we're here today, targeting the upper body. Moving with your body, not forcing it to be a way which hurts or does not bring connection. Finding your last big breath in through the nose. And exhale. Press back up. Make your way onto your knees. Otherwise, you can stay in easy seat, but I do recommend moving into a little Thunderbolt pose. So coming to about the middle of the mat, sitting up nice and tall on the knees. You might find some squirrel or bird friends popping in and out of this video saying hi to you. So take one moment here to just lift up through the spine. Depress the shoulders down. Taking a nice breath, gazing forward. Then send the arms out, shoulder height. We're going to press palms together, trying to create space between the shoulders and the ears this entire time. So on your exhale, release the left hand, swing the left arm out just to that point where you can't anymore. If you want to twist, that's where you stop. So we're staying nice and even here. And then inhale, bring it back, palms meet. Right arm reaches out, exhale, just to where you feel a nice stretch in the front of the shoulder. And back. Taking 5 on each side, so we go 4 more. Moving carefully. Finding some strength here as well. Using this mind-body connection as you control your movements to practice controlling your mind, tuning out distractions. Finding your last round. Perhaps feeling a little bit more open on this 5th one compared to the first. Meeting back with palms together, then letting them drop down to the knees. Finding some rounds of seated cat-cow. Now we can come back into our seat, our easy seat. We can also take traditional cat-cow if you would like. Anything to focus on the upper body and mobilize through the spine, rounding through the back on the exhale, tucking the chin. Inhale, send the chest forward, really reaching the scapula together. Keeping most of your awareness on the upper spine as you move in synchronicity with your breath. Letting the hands float wherever feels natural, whatever feels organic. And taking 2 more rounds. Before finding neutral spine and coming into a nice active child pose. So scoot back to the back of the mat, big toes together, knees slightly apart. Send the hips back, palms plant down. And as we send the chest forward, we start to kind of round through the back a little bit. So really ground down through the tops of the feet to kind of really connect to the core, finding a slight pelvic tilt to really press through the hands and find a nice stretch in the back. So pressing away from the mat, a slight round in the back. Hold here about 2 breaths. And then finding a thread the needle, gently pick up the head, inhale. Take this right hand, scoop it underneath the left arm, but keep everything else straight. So just creeping these right fingertips out, and exhale, send the chest down over the knees, gazing at your mat. Feeling this in the front of the shoulder, between the scapula, kind of curling in on yourself like a little ball here. Reaching with both arms and breathe. Take one last breath and then carefully uncross, coming back to our nice active child pose. 2 more breaths here. Before lifting the head, releasing the left hand to thread it underneath, walking those fingertips out, and exhale, melting down over the legs. Beautiful. 1 more breath. And carefully release, replanting that left hand. Press up onto the knees, coming in through a tabletop. So first, finding traditional tabletop, spread wide through the fingers, gaze in between the thumbs, press away from the mat, find a nice neutral spine. After taking a breath here, walk the hands out about 6 inches, about half of a foot. And then find a little bit of spinal roll mobilization here. So still on the knees. Exhale to round through the back, kind of like cat. Press through the hands, and then when you get here, it's like cow, and we send the hips back. So just really finding what feels good. These movements can be very tiny, little pelvic tilts, or they can be really, really big, almost like going from child pose into upward facing dog. Just remembering to listen to your body and make this practice what feels good to you. Not staying here for too much longer, just a few more breaths. Beautiful. Finishing out. And then making your way back through tabletop, taking the hands back underneath the shoulders, and then releasing down into puppy pose. So we can keep the big toes tucked and come onto the balls of the feet, or we can keep them flat on the mat as you reach out and melt down. We're going to stay here for a little bit, so find what feels the most comfortable to you, and to really let yourself release. Melting closer to the earth with every exhale. Noticing what's happening in your body as you breathe. And you can stay here, or if you want a little bit more shoulder action, you can cross your feet at the ankles, helping to kind of drive your arms down a little bit more. I find that this helps open the shoulders. Finding your last breath or two. And then carefully pressing up through the hands, uncrossing the feet if you have them crossed, and roll onto the belly. Coming into a nice prone scorpion stretch, so stretching, opening through the front of the shoulder. Plant the left hand down, bend the right leg, and kick it over. Coming to lie on the left shoulder. Using your body weight to roll over and really, really open. You can lie your head down on the mat. And on your next exhale, roll back onto the belly. Wipe any residual dirt off of you. And we have two choices here. So in between the other scorpion stretch, we can come into a nice cobra, pressing up, squeezing the scapula together, finding strength here. Or we can come into a little half locust snake pose, reaching the arms behind by the sides and pressing through the pelvis to lift up. So finding some strength in the back. We can also interlace the fingers, reaching up that way. Finding what feels good to you, just a few breaths before we release into the other side. Squeeze nice and active. And exhale. Gently release wherever you are. Right arm reaches out as we kick the left leg over. Big breaths. On your next exhale, carefully roll back onto the stomach and press. Hands come under shoulders, press back onto the knees. Taking the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest to the sky, pulling the hands down. And exhale, fold over the knees. Hands try to come overhead. Finding a slight little rock side to side with the hands. Let your breath go. Make sure you're not holding it. Just a few simple rocks here. And then use the hands on your next inhale to pull your chest back up. Exhale, release. Cross the feet at the ankles and find a nice, easy seat. I'm going to face this way for you. So coming into our last move here for this practice. Any seat that feels comfortable to you can be on the knees as well. Finding eagle arms to really, really create space on either side of the spine. Send both elbows up in front of the chest. Then wrap one arm around the other, trying to meet palms. Inhale, we lift the hands up. They reach towards the sky. And exhale, gently fold over, rounding through the back. Trying to place your forearms on the mat. And if this is not accessible to you, we can place opposite hand on opposite shoulder and send the elbows down and up, rounding through the back, so sticking your scapula out towards the back of the room. Wherever you can breathe. And if your arms are here, make sure you send your awareness to the upper back. Notice if that is what is being opened. Modifying as you need. One last breath wherever you are. Inhale, back up, and exhale, release. Arms come out to the sides and find just a few little circles to give yourself a chance to reset before we find the other side. Just a few little circles going in both directions. And then taking cow face arms, right arm comes up, left arm comes behind the back, trying to reach fingertips as you bend at the elbows. Sitting up nice and tall, gazing forward. Breathing. You can also use a yoga strap or a small towel to bridge that gap here if we cannot reach. One last big breath. And exhale, release, taking your elbows in front of the chest. And now finding your opposite eagle arms, whatever side you didn't do before. Inhale, raise them up over the head. And exhale, begin to melt down as you actively round through the upper back, stopping wherever you need to, wherever your body tells you to. This is your practice for your body. I am merely a guide here. Connecting within, draw yourself back in this moment with each inhale. Breathing in life, that life force prana. And on your next inhale, raising back up. Exhale to unravel, taking your arm circles if you need to reset before finding cow face arms on the other side. Reaching the left arm up overhead, right comes behind the back, bending both at the elbows. Feeling connected to the mat through your sit bones. Close to the earth, breathe in big through the nostrils. And out. Releasing the hands on your next exhale. Taking them to heart center, dropping the shoulders down, maybe rolling them back a time or two. Finding a few breaths here, closing the eyes, hands in Anjali Mudra. Finding presence to close this practice. Mind, breath, body awareness. Letting it all connect. And I thank you so much for joining me on the mat today in this practice. I really hope it was healing and relieving for you. I hope it was what you needed. But as always, take what you need, leave what you don't. I enjoy being your guide here on the mat, and I look forward to the next time we meet. Thank you so much again, my friends. If you enjoyed this class, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. and I will see you next time. Have a blessed rest of your day.